Hey gamers, welcome to the Part-Time Gamers Club, where we game part-time but support gaming all the time. For those of you tuning in, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And with me is Gerard and Mike. And on today's episode, we're just gonna be doing what we do. That's talking games and playing games. So guys, this week, I don't know if you guys heard, but I found it a little interesting because we've talked about similar stuff in the past, but not sure if you heard about it, but there was a team let go from the Marvel Rivals team. Did you hear anything about it?
I heard nothing.
I heard nothing because I haven't played it yet.
Well, you don't have to
I'm
play
not
it.
gonna even lie. I mean, yeah, I haven't really heard.
No, so,
Mike, I'm with you. I'm with you, Mike. I didn't play it either.
I'm surprised Gerard didn't hear anything about it because Gerard being part of the industry kind of deal.
Yeah, I heard
there was
about
just some
that
layoffs.
game more.
Yeah, there was just some. I just found it kind of weird, but when I read a little bit on it, it was only like a 6-man team that was over in Seattle or something like that. But it was kind of interesting because a lot of people were like questioning it because of the success of Marvel Rivals and how big it's been. Very successful and drawing in a lot of money for them. But Netgear let go of that small team over there. But it's a China-based company anyway, and they have like 26, 29,000, something like that, employees over there. So I just found it interesting because we've talked about the layoffs, and it's like kind of weird. Even like I don't know what the reason is. I'm sure people will comment if anything. But like why let go of 6 people over in the Seattle team? Like I just don't get it. When you got a game that made like I think 200 million in the first month, some ridiculous number.
I mean, that's they're always trying to do something now, and like even if you get a game that makes that much money, you wanna put out. I don't want to call it passion projects, but I do want to go put out anything you can, no matter what the idea is, kind of in this gaming industry, and that's how we get like titles that one don't make any sense, but two sequels keep coming out because I'm pretty sure people are just running out of good ideas. And that's what it feels like in this franchise, right? Or like in this industry right now. It's just like the good ideas are coming out of indie companies who have nothing to their name that ties them down or identity, and then games that are like coming out of these studios that are just immediately picked up by like bigger corporations like Activision or Blizzard or like, well, now that they're all like the same Microsoft. But they basically just are always picked up immediately, so their new ideas are just smashed. So
Well, because I think it's just because expectations, when it is an indie small company, you're not gonna really like what's really there to lose. So the creativity is probably higher on that terms than a company like a bigger company where that you have to have the pressure of just delivering a big hit game from the start, from the scratch. So
But
the pressure is there, but
do you think it's similar to like I want to hear you guys' thoughts on it, like because you said like the industry seems to be struggling with the good ideas, but do you think it's that they're struggling with the good ideas, or do you think the industry is almost doing similar to like movies and music where they how could I say basically they put out this I want to say mainstream material that they feel like will draw in money. You know what I mean? Even if it's not necessarily the best, but they know it draws the crowd. Like there's that music like
Avengers.
yeah, exactly. But you think of music like no offense to anybody that's a fan of her, but like all right, Katy Perry, she makes a lot of popular music, but you wouldn't say she's the kind of artist that say like a Celine Dion or something like that. You wouldn't compare that. You know what I mean? Like that kind of quality of music
there were
compared to
people
like
that disagree with you, and I know them
Yeah.
by heart.
what anybody that thinks that Katy Perry can sing as well as Celine Dion has a big problem. And it's not with what I said. They just don't understand good music. But that's different. That's what I'm saying though. Like they got like this almost like this junk food kind of gaming. Like this.
Okay, so I'm gonna disagree on two aspects.
Mm-hmm.
One, that for gamers, we have a notion that like we want a mainstream thing, and it is like common to have like movies that are always going to sell, or like music that will guarantee be like the the mainstream picking. But for video games, we have like generated our entire culture around archetypes more so than like series themselves. Like IP addresses, like IPs, the intellectual properties are just as important in gaming, but it is not more so of there are, because we remember Halo as like one of the greats, but we know Halo as one of the best FPS shooters specifically. Likewise with Call of Duty. Call of Duty is it's like an action-packed shooter, and we have racing games and platformers that are all just like amazing of that genre. And that's how we kind of fit our culture around, is those genres specifically, not like movies and music does. Because the music, artists is taking hold. For movies, actors are taking hold. It's about those people that are doing the most justice for movies and things like that. Directors, of course, get the majority of the credit.
Fair. Well, okay. I know you say people are coming up with struggling to come up with ideas, but that one game you sent me seemed hilarious and very creative. If you want to enlighten Mike on that,
I did send Mike the link as well.
You did. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it though.
Yeah.
I just saw. I haven't seen it. I just saw Call of Duty. I think. What's this? I don't know. No.
But basically,
drop. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it is an indie game that is just an FPS shooter, multiplayer FPS shooter, just like a Call of Duty knockoff. And your cats and your cheetahs and things like that. And the reason why you're cheetahs is because you have aimbots and wall hacks turned on as part of the game. That is the game design. You are a hacker, and you are fighting against other hackers.
Yes.
Because everybody
cheats. Who can cheat the best is the game, is basically the concept. It's kind of hilarious at the same time, but it kind of puts everybody on the equal playing field. It's just who can out cheat the other player, basically.
Well, it's almost like satire, kind of like.
It's a parody game where.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's an original idea, definitely, because that does sound fun. Like, I can't take it seriously if everyone's cheating, so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I can't go, oh, he's cheating.
It's obvious.
It's part of the game, literally. It's part of it. I think it's an interesting concept. I kind of like the idea. I kind of like how they use cheetahs as a kind of a play on words, but also make the characters cheetahs. That's freaking hilarious. It looks like you're running around with a bunch of Pink Panthers, really.
And there's in like the video, they show you different like ways that people are hacking the game, and then there's like a Gatling gun as one of the items, and immediately just like both with like red squares, just immediately dead. It's like
freaking hilarious. It's aimbot. What is it? Aimbot the wall hacks.
Yeah, wall hacks. Yes, and they also have like different gun mods and invincibility mods.
It's freaking nuts. But yeah, I think that's cool. I think, like you said, I guess technically, to be fair, that's an indie game, so a lot of the creativity.
That's what I said. It's an indie game.
But that's what I meant with music and stuff. You think there's a lot of indie artists that are very, very good artists that are just not known like that. And it's like the industry too in gaming. Sometimes we got these incredibly talented developers and stuff like that that just haven't been put on the mainstream, so to speak. You know what I mean?
It just hasn't been picked up, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of indie music, and then, they have a small fan base, and then, one song may just suddenly get radio play and get picked up.
Oh, yeah.
But
when we talk about music.
I mean, there's a lot of I won't say one-hit wonders. That sounds bad, but
in music,
but in gaming, you only need that. If you think about it, Riot had one big hit. That was League of Legends. Now they've put out some other content since then. But if you think about it,
carried them far.
Yeah, it carried them very far. Carried them very far.
So, I mean, at that time, I think it came out at a perfect time. I think timing is also everything too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
that's the
Timings
thing.
are
One hit wonders.
He makes a good point. He makes a good point. It's all about when you drop that heat.
Yeah.
But uh, I we were talking about this off camera earlier, Mike, before Jorah jumped in. Um, Monster Hunter, man. I'm hyped. That's this Friday or next Friday, shall I say? So I'm gonna be on it. I don't know about you. Are you getting the deluxe edition or not,
Yeah,
or the
I am.
premium edition?
I'm not getting deluxe. I'm broke as fuck.
I'm good. I haven't decided if I want to play it on my computer or on the TV.
What do you mean? What are you gonna get it on a console? What are you
No,
doing?
I hook up my TV to my computer.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Have you heard anything recently that I should know about? Mike should know about anything like interesting or like some news about it that I.
I don't want
Uh,
to know.
People like it in the betas.
Is it getting good reviews from the
It
beta?
got good reviews. Yeah.
Is
a
it
lot of
very
people are
similar
looking
to
forward
Monster
to it.
Hunter World, or what have you heard from it?
It'd be best to look at the reactions. So like I have a good example. Is what I've been watching is Maximilian Dude, and his reactions on it. He's enjoying it. There are some nitpicks, but they have been fixed since like they did a closed beta. So he's really happy with the game so far.
Do you
So
think it's going to be as successful as World?
I think so. I think it's going to be at least as successful as World.
I feel
if
like
not
you
more.
think it's going to be bigger.
Yes, I do feel it's going to be bigger.
Why do you feel that way?
It's been a long time since World, and World only had one DLC come out, which is Iceborne, and then they went back to their roots of like they did the release with Nintendo Switch, which is just like the PSP. Like they made Monster Hunter again a mobile or a portable game. So like
Oh yeah.
now that they get that, they had their experience with World, they learned their lessons from World. They're going back to be comfortable. Maybe they're going back to rediscover what like they wanted, like the image of World is. So now we're getting a better World, and probably will be supported much longer now.
I hope so. I think that was the only thing the only critique I really had towards World is that they didn't continue it. You know what I mean? Like, give us a little bit more. Like, if they would have gave us 2 expansions, I would have been happy. Like 2 quality expansions, I would have still been happy.
Yeah, and we got one, which is Iceborne, but it was so late. It was like
It took so long. Yeah, it was like a year and a half after I think the game came out. So
yeah,
by
and
then,
it was like
kind
I
of
was like at most a year, at most.
yeah.
Most.
Even then, I mean, you think about the gaming community right now, you can't wait that long, man. You can't. People move on too quick.
That's why a lot of people have been in ARPGs, MMOs, where like the grind will be there the entire time.
I wonder if they're gonna make this. World wasn't really grindy, but I kind of hope they make it a little more grindy. This one, I know that might turn off some casual players, but I kind of want that.
I don't know. I have too many. Dragon Soul came out. It's
I
gonna
mean,
interrupt my rating.
With the World of Warcraft, the 30-year-old game.
Dragon. I have never rated it, so you know what? This is new to me. Okay, so I'm alright with it, but
Yeah,
it's gonna take most of my time.
it's still the same game. It's just different dungeons.
It's just different
Oh,
dungeons.
I'm having a good time because it's a different dungeon.
That's
I
like
never rated
every
it, so-
MMO.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's true. That's technically true. The world's just a little different. The dungeons are a little different.
I mean, aren't we doing the same thing, kind of like Monster Hunter 2, the same concept? So it's the same thing. So stop.
People fight to the death that none of the Monster Hunter games are connected to each other at all, and they're just
This
like,
would be the
Yeah,
first.
that.
This is supposed to be like the first one that's somewhat connected. From
yeah,
my
and that
understanding.
and people were in arms, man, in arms over that.
Why?
I
People
don't
like
know.
storylines.
They're like, I don't. This.
No, I think he's
pride,
saying they didn't want it to.
they
be
didn't
connected.
want it to be connected.
Which
They were
that's
like-
even like, why not?
I'm alright with that.
Well, I
'Cause
guess
they-
you could say the Final Fantasies have never really been connected unless they do like a
This-
X2,
this
X2.
this
Yeah,
guy-
yeah.
Yeah,
this
I mean,
guy,
they did that.
There's a guy has a thing which
Which one?
is just all the Final Fantasy characters are connected in one like branch universe that goes in between them.
Okay. Okay.
It
But
is a weird thing. They wanted to connect all the Final Fantasy people.
but I don't think they're really there's not a connection, I don't think, with the storyline from my understanding with I think it's just the same world, but not really connected from the first story of world. Like, and
I
is it
believe
like
so.
a certain amount of years ahead, like in the future, or is it a past thing? Is it a past storyline? Have you heard anything like that?
No,
Because I
not
haven't
really.
really looked too much into it. I just kind of like Mike. I don't want to know too much about it because I rather. I think you kind
Just
of
find
been.
out.
Yeah, I think you've kind of limited how much information you've gotten too, but I kind of want to be more surprised because like World was the first time I ever played a Monster Hunter game, and I was blown away by the experience.
I mean, Monster Hunter, as I said before, was mostly a portable game. So, like, it was on the
Yeah,
PSP for a very, very long time. Uh,
yeah.
and then we got, like, the Nintendo Switch and a whole. I think it came out on the Wii.
I think that's the original ones, right? Wii's?
No. The originals were
PSP?
a long time ago. I think it was. I think the original one was on PlayStation 1, I want to say.
Oh, it was a regular console game?
I want to double check before I say anything.
Well, Mike, you never played any of the ones either, right? It was just World was the first one you did.
Worlds, I think I have Iceborne.
Yeah, no, but
I
that's
don't think
part
I've.
that's the DLC. But I'm saying like any Monster Hunters before World,
No,
no, right?
I
That's
think I don't know how did we get introduced to that?
well,
I
I
don't even
I
remember.
always saw the games, but like Gerard said, they were mainly
PlayStation 2.
portables, and I never really played portable, those kind of handheld ones. And I don't know why I never played the PS2 one. Now that you said the original was on
Yeah,
PS2,
the original was on PlayStation 2.
but and I'm a big Camp. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a big Capcom fan, but I do play a lot of Capcom games over the years. So I don't know why I never played it, but when Gerard told me about World and how it was, I wanted to try it, and then we told you about it, and you eventually got it.
Yeah, I loved uh, Monster Hunter when I got my PSP. I played
Mhm.
Monster Hunter on it and was blown away. I loved it so much. And then I got really into it only because I saw someone else playing the game, and I was like, "This is the kind of game I want in my life." It's like
Oh,
it was like it had that same because I was playing Fantasy Star as well. That same kind of aspect, that vibe of just like, oh, I need to grind for every particular thing.
I
I
think it's been
need.
what 7 years, right? Because Monster Hunter World came out like 2018 or 19. It's been like 6, 7 years since World.
Yeah, I think World came out early 2018, and
Yeah,
then Iceborne came out, as we said, like a year and a half after. It was in 2019, and
yeah.
then Rise came out 2021.
I didn't even know about Rise. I don't know why I didn't get any hype or anything. Like at
I
least
don't.
for me, I didn't hear about it.
I heard about it all the time, and then I was
Oh
just
yeah,
like, but it was like it's on a Nintendo Switch, and then
that's probably why.
the PC. Yeah, I was like, it's on the Nintendo Switch, and then the PC port didn't come out until like a year later. It came out 2022.
I think these game companies just need to stop that.
The PC port
What is?
taking a long time.
Yeah, not only that, like, because I think that's usually because they do a deal with the councils to give them like, I guess, what do you call it? What do they call that again? Jeez,
I don't know.
Royalty?
you're not royalty, but you know what I'm talking about, like
Uh,
yeah, exclusive rights for like the
exclusivities.
first year, yeah, first year or so, sometimes always. But Final Fantasy learned their lesson recently about that. They're getting away from that, not just being a Sony based game basically anymore,
Yeah, because
which
there's
I
no
think they really,
lead. There's no leader anymore. Like
yeah.
you need to, in order to make a profit, you need to go to more than one console. You can't
Mhm.
spend like a lot of money and be tied to only one console. Not anymore, at least. Because how
Well,
expensive video games are to make.
I think you, me, and Mike can all agree as being gamers, and we were originally console gamers, PC's the way to go. It's just the way to go for a gaming experience.
Yeah, I think the drawback for PC gaming is just the space it takes and the maintenance it requires. Is not really computer don't really maintain as much, but it does take up space.
Cost.
Yeah, because I would like
Gaming
people
PCs
have
cost.
yeah, but like nowadays, like freaking consoles is just the same price as PCs. That's how bad it is. That's how expensive these PCs.
It's getting there because we talked about one episode, I think, with PS5
Pro.
What is it? The PS5 Pro? Yeah, it's coming out. It was like $800, $700, something like that.
That's stupid.
And then Mike said PS6 is gonna be like $1,500. I said, whoa, let's calm down. Like, yeah, a little.
It's like for $1,000, I'll build a completely good computer, and for $1,000 more, I can make it the best.
I don't know. I think more like we talked about it too, though, with the consoles. That I think it's just also convenience in a sense. It's kind of easy to set
That's what I
up.
was saying.
Get on.
Yeah, it's like you connect it to your TV, which you already have, and then
you
just
need one
play.
cable, the HDMI,
Oh,
HDMI, and the power cord. That's all you really
Exactly.
need. So a little different from being a PC setup, but at the same time, it's like, good. You guys know?
Nah, I was just thinking to myself, yeah, you're right. Convenience, easy.
Yeah, because even the controllers are Bluetooth now.
Even you could put it in your backpack and just take it with
Yeah,
you
yeah,
instead of
yeah,
having
yeah.
to bring a
That's
freaking
true.
tower.
Yeah, but you know, you could bring a gaming laptop anywhere.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, I guess.
It's not.
Laptops eventually will get outdated, and you can't really like modify it to upgrades.
Our laptops
That's
will not be outdated until they can put a hologram projector on your phone. That's when laptops get outdated. When the
in
phone
terms of,
replaces
I think it's
them.
gaming.
Like,
I think he's
graphic
talking about
cards,
gaming.
like graphic
Yeah.
cards out,
Oh, yeah.
you know, when you
But-
buy it.
But Mike, you got to think about it too, though. You're thinking long term. If you buy a gaming laptop from this year, right? That's going to be able to keep up with games for the next, I'd say, at least 4 to 5 years. You telling me you can't buy a new gaming laptop in 4 to 5 years? You buy a new console in 4 to 5 years if you're a console player.
I was gonna say
No,
laptops
but-
don't even last that long. Usually they last 2 to 3 years, like because the laptop design is faulty.
Oh.
Laptops.
Yeah, like I'm
depend
saying, you
on
buy a
batteries.
laptop
Mhm.
and then but you can't upgrade it like you could do it as
No,
a
yeah.
tower.
I absolutely
You
get
know,
that.
to keep it up. So you're gonna have to reinvest another decent
Yeah,
laptop that's probably like
1,000.
1,200 maybe, yeah. So in a laptop you could just pay maybe 400 just to upgrade your CPU or something, or your graphic cards or something. Unless you
Yeah.
get like the crazy freaking
But we're talking about You're talking about portability, though. Like a laptop is portable. You can't do that with your gaming desktop. So what I'm saying is, because we were saying the convenience of a console, like a console you could put in your backpack and take with you. You can do the same thing with a laptop. Is what I'm saying. And if you spend decent money, $1,200-$1,500 laptop, it would last you probably 2 to 3 years, 4 or 5 years, depending on what kind of graphics card you got and stuff. But like Gerard said, it could be a little faulty because we know as being gamers and having laptops ourselves, one of the things I always found was they start to have like breathing issues, like they get really hot, and then you got to start buying like the fans you put under them. You know what I mean? That little like fan pad.
Coolers.
Yeah, because the fans burn out, especially for gaming computer or gaming laptops, because they are blowing out their bearings faster and faster, especially with the RPM going up. The hotter the laptop gets, and it gets to a point where those fans will go within a year or two, and then you can replace the fans, but it costs just as much just to get it like half the fucking laptop costs. So you don't want to reinvest in that. And then you get the lap blowers, which are just additional fans. That's all that are. Just more fans. So they don't last more than 3 to 4 years.
Just preference, but
There is a new laptop I've seen. I don't want to like go and because this is a Canadian product, but
Okay.
it is a laptop that a laptop that replaces itself. So
Okay.
like every
what?
piece of the laptop is a replaceable feature. So the screen can be replaced, the motherboard can be replaced, the power bank can be replaced, the sides, the USBs, the USB-Cs.
So it's customizable like your
Yes.
desktop.
All is customizable just like a desktop. It's like a desktop, but for in laptop form.
That'd be worth investing in. Personally, I think so. That would make me want to get a laptop again as a secondary thing.
Yeah, I was bringing it up because like I watch Linus Tech Tips, and the owner of Linus Tech Tips, Linus obviously, invested into that laptop. He like invested heavily into that laptop, and like I've seen like the product placement and everything like that. So I was like, this is not sponsored, but I do know about that laptop, and I was like, that looks pretty dope.
That sounds dope. But I guess we'll see, man. I'm just I'm hyped for Monster Hunter. I'm hyped to play it on my PC this time around. I think we were playing the Xbox One at that time, Xbox One X. That's the one I had. Yeah. And then
and then I got it again on my computer. I had to buy it a second time.
7 years.
Same thing. I don't know.
It's almost like it almost took them as long to make. Well, maybe it takes a little longer, but it's almost like as long as an MMO takes to make.
I mean, they put a lot of effort and time into this, so I think it's gonna be just like Elden Ring, where like it took so long for them to release Elden Ring, and then when people got into their hand, they were like, "This is the first time." It's been a long time since a game that has been like known about for years and has been a myth, and it comes out and it's everything we wanted. It's everything it said it out.
It makes the wait worth it.
Yes. And I was like, this is worth it. This is worth it.
That's what I'm hoping with Monster Hunter. I think I fell in love with Monster Hunter World, like I told you guys before. Like it was everything I was hoping it would be. And then, like you said, the only thing that let me down was really just that expansion. It took so long. Like they released that little DLC where you fought a couple different monsters that they added in. Remember? That was like after like 3 or 4 months of the game. And I think they did another one of that a little after that. But the real expansion,
the events, they were doing events as well.
Yeah.
And that was to keep the freshen up. But like the first true expansion to the world wasn't until a year and a half later with Iceborne, when we actually got new maps.
Yeah. I really hope this one. I already hope there's one already lined up. I hope they were working on it simultaneously. You know what I mean? Developing it, or at least maybe started maybe a year or two after WoW started being developed. But you know what I mean? Just to make sure they have it in a decent time frame. Like at least I'd say 6 months after the game came out. The longest they can wait. That's the longest.
All right. Well, that's it from us. We make sure you like, comment, or subscribe to us.
Or subscribe.
Or subscribe. Well, at least do one of those three things. At least one of those.
Please.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Later.